Alright, guys, so I'm going to be doing a review of Devil's Reign. This is a comic sent to me by my good friend Chris. Chris, thank you so much for sending me the comic. As you guys know, this was one of the more recent events to come out of Marvel. This was done by Chip Zdarsky with artwork by Marco Cicchetto. This was the big event that they had been building up in their Daredevil run. And can we just talk about that for a second? There was a Daredevil event. There was a legit Daredevil event that occurred in Marvel Comics. I don't think I've ever seen a Daredevil-centric event. You could make the argument that there was kind of like a Venom-centric event in like before King in Black with like Planet of the Symbiotes, and you know there was obviously, well, that was more Spider-Man with Maximum Carnage, but Venom was in it. But really, you could make the argument that there's been at least two Venom-centric events. And King in Black is obviously the bigger one. But again, Planet of the... Now that I think about it, Planet of the Symbiotes was more Spider-Man as well. So really, Venom's only had two centric events. Why did I said two? I meant to say two earlier, three, but it's really two: Absolute Carnage and King in Black. So it is kind of cool that we are getting like characters like that don't normally get like centered events around them. And yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Daredevil-centric event. I can't wait for someone to go, well, actually, there was this event. I may have great knowledge of comics, but it ain't that great. So, for reference, basically, Wilson Fisk is the mayor of New York City, and he has about had it with not only Daredevil, but also all the superheroes in New York, and has written in a law that is outlawing all superpowered activity in New York City, and is hoping that it will be passed nationally, like another Superhero Registration Act, which, yeah, this is like a better version of Civil War, because there is no Civil War, because it's literally a clearly bad guy trying to push in something that is clearly not meant to work. It's almost like Chip Zdarsky looked at Civil War and went, fuck this event, I'm gonna do it like how it should have been. But yeah, they even like make it they actually bring up Civil War a few times before with the Superhero Registration Act and actually make a few callbacks to it. But what really sets it off is that Matt Murdock, using the Nornstone he got during War of the Realms to create Mike Murdock, that was a whole thing, and basically he erased Wilson Fisk of knowing his identity. So, Fisk, who's been building up all this information and whatnot on on all these superheroes, is now unleashing it and having his own task force version of the Thunderbolts, who are being employed to hunt down superheroes. Again, very much like how they were during the Civil War. So, yeah. What I like about this event is that while it has a lot going on, it has some serious shit going on. Like, you have Fisk, he wants to run for mayor, he's running for another term as mayor, and you have Doc Ock, who is literally who has stolen Reed Richards', he's taken over the Baxter Building and unleashed superior versions of Hulk, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider, who are also Otto, who have taken on those people in the multiverse, taken over those heroes in the multiverse. And you have Purple Man, who has been captured, and they actually make a great callback to the Avengers story, the Avengers graphic novel, Emperor Doom. They make a great callback to that story. And it's a pretty damn well-packed book for 6 issues. And the other thing is, unlike Crimson Reign, this Reign actually tells a story without needing the tie-ins to explain anything. Like, I don't have to... It's like, oh, do I want to go check out what goes on in that comic? Well, I guess I'll go check out that tie-in. Really, it does feel like a comic book that... it really does feel like a comic book, that an event that feels like the tie-ins are just there to supplement the story. Which I do actually own one of the tie-ins and actually reviewed first. That being Daredevil Woman Without Fear, where she fought Kraven the Hunter. And also builds up to what Zdarsky's doing now with Daredevil, in that he's destroying the Hand. Like Matt and Elektra are working together to destroy the Hand, which is now being run by the Punisher. So yeah, I also, like, I do find it funny that, like, while Spider-Man played a big part in this big Daredevil event, like, I do find it funny that, like, he has been, like, built up, and Peter Parker was built up as a major cog in the Zdarsky Daredevil run, because, you know, Zdarsky loves him some Spider-Man. The difference was, by this point, Peter Parker was in a coma, and this is Ben Reilly taking over. This is part of the Beyond era of Spider-Man. So everyone's all here, but then you have fucking Ben Reilly as Spider-Man over there. And it's kind of funny, because I think even Zdarsky was like, I don't fucking care, I'll write it however I'll just write it as Peter Parker. I don't even think he fucking cared. But yeah, you have, the main core is really a lot of the street-level heroes, although Hulk and Thor are off, you know, obviously Thor's dealing with stuff in Donny Cates' run, and Hulk is also dealing with Donny Cates' chicanery as well. I think Banner of War was going on during all this, so they were all fighting each other. But yeah, you do have some big names in here, and you have, like, the Fantastic Four and Iron Man in here, and you may be thinking, well, they already, like, you have Iron Man and Fantastic Four, you've already, like, how can Kingpin be a threat to them? It's more like he uses the government against them, and I do like that, like, Fisk knows that, like, he cannot in any way, shape, or form take on the likes of, like, the Fantastic Four, or Iron Man. He goes at them politically, and that's really cool. I do like all the stuff of how seamless the war, like, Zdarsky ties all this stuff together. And yeah, I do like that it also does a lot of stuff with the Fantastic Four, in that Zdarsky is like, yeah, Reed and Sue love each other, and they're in jail for a hot minute. It's a lot of fun. It's not like they're going through marital trouble of Civil War. This was a giant... Have I mentioned yet that this comic feels like a giant fuck you to Civil War? Because I feel like I haven't said that yet. It's a very well put together book. I think it's a book that... I honestly believe it is a book that has... a lot going for it. Fisk clearly shows that he can be a capable Marvel villain. I think that this is a comic that is Zdarsky at his best, doing a phenomenal event. This shows how much he loves Daredevil and you know, the Kingpin and all of that. And it's definitely playing with a lot of plates, and and Zdarsky knows how to spin them all. So I really do tip my hat to that. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much my review of Devil's Reign. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Chris, I know you're watching this. Thank you so much again for this comic and the other ones you've sent me. Other than that, you guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of Devil's Reign? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.